fitness is more than just physical. Goals are fine, but if you don't have the physical capability, your peace of mind, your health, everything else, it doesn't really matter, right? Honestly, I try to get my clients to basically embrace their uniqueness because everybody's body is unique.
So now, if you had to give up exercising for 3 consecutive months or give up
Okay.
pizza for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Exercise for 3 months. I have
Wow.
faith in my abilities. I'll come back.
Was listening or watching, you know which trainer to go to. You can have
Correct.
pizza all day, every day.
Like, I wouldn't say, you know what, don't eat rice, don't have drinks. It's fine. Do it. But everything in moderation. You have everything that you need within your body. I mean, there's a lot you can do with just your body weight. Pull-ups, push-ups, squats. Find what your level zero is. And then slowly, steadily build from there. So it's basically a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of All About Sports, the podcast. Today you're joined by two of your co-hosts, Mazhar Gadiwala. What's up, Maz?
Hey, Krishnan, and very happy to be here today.
What's up? Good to see you, Maz. And it's also myself, Rishabh. But today we're also joined by a very, very, very special guest, Arjun Gupta. Arjun, thank you so much for being on. We'll get into your whole introduction in a minute. But before we get into all that, how are you doing? What's been up?
Hey, Rishabh, hey, Maza. Thanks for having me, guys. Doing good so far. Yeah, just locked in. I mean, so far the situation has become better in Bombay, but yeah, still staying home as much as I can. But
Completely
happy
fair.
to be here. Yeah.
I think globally, everyone can I can relate to that situation. We're moving past it at some point, but everyone can relate
Correct.
to that. So just to give
Yes.
everyone a bit of context, but the goal of our discussion today is really going to be focused on fitness and diet. To give you some context, Arjun has is a fitness enthusiast, and I really transitioned from being sort of someone who was really fascinated by sports, continues to be fascinated by sports and cycling, turf football, volleyball, badminton, cricket. He's also, had the opportunity to study some Krav Maga, MMA, as well as Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And having been someone who's been interested in sports, he then made a transition to more intensely get interested in fitness and learning more of how to use kind of the tools and the facilities that he has around him to kind of build on his weightlifting, strength training, and he's really built kind of a all-round interest in fitness and developing that over the years. His name on Instagram is that guy on CFace, so do make sure to check him out, and obviously we leave all his information in the links below. He's also went to the Deakin University in Melbourne to do a Master of Business in Sports Management. So all round, Arjun, you have this huge exposure to the sporting world, to the fitness world, to the world of diet, and just learning in general how to mold your body in a way that makes you feel wholesome as a whole. So, Arjun, I hand it over to you. Maybe you can talk a little bit about your transition. How did you get interested in this area, and kind of what drives you every day and keeps you motivated in this field?
Correct. So first and foremost, I'd just like to say that I know you identified me as an expert, but I don't identify myself as an expert yet because I feel like I am learning and I am growing. I'm learning new things from new people everywhere. We have a fantastic network of influencers, and now we're all so connected through Instagram, Facebook. And, I mean, the world has become a lot smaller, essentially. And, everyone's sharing their knowledge, everyone is sharing new things in terms of diet, new things in terms of fitness. So there's always something new to learn. So I wouldn't really say that I'm an expert yet, but I am getting there slowly. Yeah. So in terms of getting to fitness, so I would say I'm pretty much like any other normal guy. I would still say that it's difficult for me to even find the motivation to get up and work out today, but it is just that now I have a very clear picture in my head as to what the benefits and, what the pros and cons of, fitness and not doing fitness are. So, I mean, once you're a little more well informed on the benefits and, the cons associated with having an active lifestyle and not having an active lifestyle, I would say that, you would choose the former because, I mean, it's just so much more. So, I mean, I know we're all living in this sort of world where we're all just chasing goals after the other. But one very important thing that people forget is that, goals are fine. But if you don't have the physical capability, your peace of mind, your health, everything else, it doesn't really matter, right? So, I mean, that was, I think, my most motivating factor when I started off. So initially, I was a runner. Like, so I used to run at a district level in my school days. And I had this very weird notion throughout my early childhood that, you know what, people who go to gym are very synthetic. They're not exactly very natural. And, you know, like I'm never going to be that guy. And, you know, like, so it is a very distorted image. And I would say probably society has a lot to do with it because, you know, like when you see someone walking down the street or like, oh, you know what, that guy probably, you know, pumps proteins and has steroids or, you know, like, so very distorted images, obviously not true. And so I grew up, my understanding about this entire subject changed. So I gradually changed from, you know, running 6 to 7 times a week to, you know, like incorporating a bit of strength training. Initially, it was very difficult because that initial, you know, when that pain sets in, your body is just like, you know, what the hell are you doing? Like, I mean, that initial shock is there, right? So that happened to me. And then I again went back to running. I was like, you know what? Okay, so what the world has been thinking has been right. And, you know, this is probably not the right alternative for me. But then, you know, like slowly, steadily, the more I spoke to people, the more I interacted with people who are into this field, and I had the opportunity to study with like a couple of esteemed universities, and you know, my understanding about the subject changed. So slowly, steadily, I crawled back into this field, and it has sort of helped me develop overall as a person. And I've sort of, so instead of having a lifestyle that is molded to incorporate fitness, I now mold my lifestyle around health and fitness in particular. So yeah, I would say that is like the entire story of how it got started.
No, I can completely admit to feeling the same way when I saw people
Yeah,
growing up who were buff for sure. It was
correct.
instant part of it for me was jealousy, I'll also admit.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's completely understandable. I also wanted to ask you, Arjun, as we go into this, I think everyone, whether it be anyone who's interested in fitness or diet, typically has some philosophy that they have on, a good direction to go with it. You have a broad overarching, I think everyone would recommend maybe a customized approach for each person, but is there a broad philosophy you have to fitness and diet that you use in your daily life that you would potentially recommend to other people just based on your experiences?
Yes. So as you rightfully said, everybody has their own preconceived notions. They have their own philosophies. So one very important thing that I do to my clients is getting them to unlearn a lot of these philosophies. So I first want them to accept their body for what it is. Okay. So most of the people come to me with goals like, you know what? Oh, I have a wedding at the end of the month and I need to lose 6 kgs for that. Or if someone's like, you know what? Oh, I really admire this movie star. He's got like an 8-pack. I want an 8-pack. I mean, all attainable goals, all like they're fine, aesthetic appeal, great. But in terms of practicality, in terms of how much does it really benefit you, I mean, it's open to debate, right? And honestly, I try to get my clients to basically embrace their uniqueness because everybody's body is unique. Like if you get into fitness, if Maza gets into fitness, no two people are going to have the exact same transformation. Okay, so like for me, my entire philosophy is that I don't gauge a person's fitness by how they look. I mean, because like in terms of how I look, so I've been to a couple of dietitians. They say I'm overweight. So it's like, I mean, so I used to have a lot of self-confidence issues because of that. But then as my understanding of the subject grew, I realized that, you know what, I honestly don't need to listen to people about all this. So it's basically, I tell the clients to be, firstly, accept their body for what it is. Secondly, I tell them not to get demotivated by any of the parameters. And another thing that I noticed very common through all people is that they are obsessed with numbers, like in terms of their weight, their BMI, they're checking their weight 2 to 3 times a day. I mean, your weight can fluctuate up to 1 to 3 kgs on a daily basis. I mean, it's just like you have a heavy meal, you don't have a heavy meal. So, I mean, it's all these small things. So I try to basically sit down and have a very candid conversation like I'm having with you guys right now. And I first ask them to tell me things that, bother them. So then I initially target their insecurities head on right from the first day. I'll be like, okay, what insecurities do you have? Like, what is your goal in terms of, fitness? And then I explain to them that, what fitness in my head is basically how, say, climbing up 3 flights of stairs and not panting. Okay. It's basically playing turf football for 2 hours and still having the energy to go for an hour more. It's like swimming 10 laps and, not feeling that burnt out. So that is my threshold for fitness. I don't like listen to parameters like, your BMI and your weight. I don't really emphasize too much on that, even though it is, of course, an important part of it, but it is still just a part of it. It is not the entire thing. It's not what people should be fixating on. So yeah, that is what I try to do. So I try to get people to unlearn a lot of these irrational things that they have in their head, and then sort of get them to understand a very logical but sustainable approach towards fitness. That is what I would say.
I think with Fitbits, it's so hard. I think with like Fitbits and all these devices on us, like you have excess of information. But sorry, go ahead, Mas.
Absolutely.
No, I just wanted to say on a lighter note, genuine question here. I still don't know what's the real or best method of losing belly fat. Like, I've heard so many things and people have said so much. Oh, you control this, don't eat rice,
Correct.
do this, do that.
Correct.
And people say, oh, if you drink like if you drink beer, then you'll get a pot belly. At least as per my knowledge, that's also another myth. Apparently, it's because of the chakna or the snacks for
Correct.
the broader audience who don't understand Hindi. It's because of that people put on weight when they have beer. No, so no, but like just using this as an example in general, like you said, right now everyone now slowly society is moving away from fat shaming as well in a lot of ways, because I know for a fact that we have proof as well. Like someone we know personally, very close to us, Rishabh, Krishnan, you and I know someone who was supremely overweight but could outrun anyone and was better than
Correct.
all of us at all sports. So that had nothing to do with his weight. He was still supremely fit and could definitely like match up to everyone. So you're right in a lot of those senses. And the one thing that I wanted to ask you was that, like, you know, you especially now in sports, like you look at cricket as well. Before cricket, like no, fitness didn't matter. It still honestly doesn't seem to matter much in cricket, but players are actually now like making sure they are fit and they're trying to stay within certain thresholds of fitness. Do and other sports, obviously fitness is a key factor as well, but do you think that it's changing and like the mindset of players has changed, or is that just because of the societal sort of image that now people have of sports persons that they follow it, like they want to look good, so they want to get more endorsements and so on and so forth? Do you think that mindset is changing from, like, what's the reason why this has happened, do you think?
So, as humans, I would say I think we're very visual creatures. We tend to like a lot of aesthetic appeal over a lot of practical stuff. So I mean, we would always look at, like, if say a Tiger Shroff walked into a room, or like if I'm in the same room as Tiger Shroff, okay, so who would you approach for fitness advice? Just honest answer. It's like you're more likely to approach Tiger Shroff because he's probably doing backflips, showing off, flaunting his 8 packs. So it's a very human tendency. Like, people tend to relate certain aspects of their physical appeal to actual fitness. And I think, like, I would want this mindset to change in the minds of sportsmen and everything. But honestly, like, when it comes to endorsements, brands would still not want to endorse someone with a little more belly fat. Then they would rather prefer someone who's like completely ripped, veins popping everywhere. It's just that's what sells things for them, and that's because humans are visual creatures. And like you said, in terms of the belly fat thing about the chakna and all, so people don't know, like, the very basic thing, like, okay, so spot reduction, if you've heard the word, like, spot reduction, the term, so that is a myth in itself. Just when I say, okay, you know what, I'm doing bicep curls to shape my biceps, for example. Okay, it's not entirely true, because you cannot specifically target a particular body part and sort of mold it. So it's not like I can do 100 crunches and get rid of my belly fat. That's not how it works. Okay, so it's even if you are doing that X number of exercise that is targeted at your core, for example, in order to get the fat out, you have to basically control your intake of calories. That is a completely different subject. So your diet is what comes into that picture. So when you're operating at a certain number of calories in a day, like if everybody is burning X number of calories through the day. Okay, if you eat more than your required number of calories, you put on fat. If you eat lesser than your required number of calories, you lose fat. So if you are operating at a deficit and you are training at the same time, then there is more likelihood of that pot belly going up. So this is where all your chakna, your drinks, everything, all that comes into the picture. So if you do that in moderation while adhering to your body's daily calorie burn rate, then it is but natural you will not put on that belly fat, or you will lose whatever you have because you're operating at a deficit. So it's all about how much you're eating. There's no such thing as bad food. Like I wouldn't say, you know what, don't eat rice, don't have drinks. It's fine. Do it. But everything in moderation. Like that's my golden rule. Like, so if you want to ask me for my philosophy, that is what my philosophy is. Everything in moderation. That applies to everything. Exercise, your sports, diet, everything.
I have
That
to
is what I
make
would
sure
say about
my
this.
I have to make sure my mom listens to this episode, because that's fundamentally her policy on everything, irrespective of
Everything.
food, TV, movie, any kind of thing in life. That's her fundamental philosophy. Everything in moderation. So I'll
Moderation.
make sure she's hearing this bit. She'll be very happy.
Nice.
Oh no, good. Mas, I think you were saying something. Sorry.
No, I was just going to move on to the next question that we had for you, Arjun. It's
Hmm.
one influencer or personality that you have looked up to and you follow in terms of helping you in your direction towards fitness, and someone who's motivated you throughout.
Okay, so I mean, I'm going to give you the most corny answer, like cliched answer to this. Like, I mean, so if you want a specific influencer, I would say there is this one influencer on Instagram who I followed after I started this page. His name is Jeremy Scott. Okay, I think he's from the States, if I'm not wrong, and I think I've been following you. You must have seen me sharing a lot of his workouts on my page. So honestly, why I look up to him is because he's someone whose thought process resonates with me a lot. Like he's got this very similar mindset when it comes to fitness, and he uncomplicates a lot of things. Like, so you always see these influencers on Instagram putting out like a lot of fancy stuff, like explosive clap push-ups and like some fancy stuff that you can only dream of doing, but you're never really gonna get there because you don't know how to get started and how to build up to it. But here we have this guy who's taking something as simple as your basic squats, push-ups, sit-ups, and just tweaking it in a way, like with a timer, with reps, having pyramid workouts, like different approaches to a lot of basic stuff that people with all fitness level can just take up and do. So I find that very inspirational because, like, I mean, he's speaking to essentially someone who is at a decent fitness level like myself, or someone who's probably just starting off. So he has a little something for all levels. And then he also has his own podcast where he talks about mindsets and, like how, what kind of mindset you need. So fitness is more than just physical. So that is another thing that I tell people. I mean, it's not like, okay, I'm going to exercise 6 days a week. I'm going to eat right. And that's it. No, it has a lot to do with your sleep cycle. It has a lot to do with your stress. It has a lot to do with what kind of people you're around. Like, because, like I'm a big believer of vibes. So if you're in a good environment where you are celebrated, you're happy. So your entire body tends to be a reflection of that. So it's all these factors that are taken into consideration. And he's got a very nice podcast where he talks about all these things. He talks about how people have, like, he takes random topics like money and, like he just talks about people's mindsets. And then, of course, the fitness, his workouts are, I think so. I have only done basic strength training. I've done HIIT, but he introduced me to something called Metcons, which was metabolic conditioning. So that was like a new thing that I picked up. And then even further, he bifurcates into like n number of workouts. So there's always something new that I'm learning from him, which is why I look up to him. And also, yeah, so the cliched answer that I was going to give you for this question was that I look up to my clients because like I feel like they have something new to teach me every day. Because I mean, apart from the actual stuff that I learn, there's also like this. So they come up with their own, like a lot of people have their own philosophies about a lot of things. So it's quite amusing for me to, like encounter those on a daily basis. So I just feel like I'm learning something new every day the more I am interacting with people.
So one thing, Arjun, that we want to ask, one of the really cool things about what you do and what you're sharing on your Instagram page, a lot of what you're sharing doesn't require a whole lot of resources. So I think in the pandemic, one of the tough parts that a lot of people have found is either they may, in general, also people might not have access to the kind of gym equipment or large scale equipment that you might need. And especially in the pandemic, with people having to stay at home, there's a little bit of a limitation both on space and on just resources and facilities. So what is some guidance you can give to people who are in this situation on easy things to do, with your, everyone's working with what they're doing, to just take some time aside and even in, small spaces, do some easy workouts that involve your body and body weight that can kind of help you kind of keep this fitness journey going, even with some of the limitations you might have?
So honestly, so my entire page, right? So I started with that guy on CFace about 5-6 months ago. It was, I think, towards the second lockdown that we had in India. So, so the entire need for this page was something that came out because of lack of resources. So I was home. I had the gyms were shut. I couldn't go out for my runs. I couldn't go out cycling. So I was forced to improvise, right? And then you can either just kick back with, like, okay, you know what, there's nothing I can do. I just have to embrace it and I have to sit down. Or you can probably, go online, do a bit of research, see what options you have at your disposal. So it was just a day of casual browsing, I would say, that sort of got me thinking, you know what? I mean, I'm sure there are many other people who are in this situation. And since I am someone who is passionate about fitness and I have been for the last 15 years of my life, so I thought, you know what, maybe I can just share everything that I have learned. So a lot of things that I do, they are things that I have picked up over the 15 years of fitness in my life. So there are a lot of mistakes that even I've made. I've gotten injured. I've had, I've gone through rehab for like 4 or 5 months in terms of in injuries and stuff. So, I mean, there are a lot of mistakes that I have made, which I try to make sure that people who are rookies, who are learning every day, so they don't repeat my mistakes. So that is, so a lot of this is based out of experiential learning, I would say. So, I mean, so if I had to give advice to people is you don't really need gyms. I mean, as humans, I think we were born with all the abilities that we need. Like, I mean, if you have everything that you need within your body, I mean, there's a lot you can do with just your body weight. So one of the first things that I did for myself was master all the basic body weight moves, like your pull-ups, push-ups, squats, like ekdam basic. So it's, what I would recommend to people is to sort of build their strength. So like I said, I mean, it's all about, it's not just your diet. It's not just your exercise. It's also your holistic approach. So you can start off by molding your entire day. You can start off by, like incorporating few changes. Like don't start off with a bang. Like in case you're someone who's scared by the idea of fitness, which is the case with most people. Like they start off and then they have that delayed onset muscle soreness and they're like, you know what, this is too painful. I cannot do this. So one thing that I do for all the people that I train with is that I start off extremely slow. Like if you've seen Kung Fu Panda, there is a level 0, right? So I start off with level 0 and then I slowly build them up. And everybody's level 0 is different, right? So what I would say to people is find what your level 0 is and then slowly, steadily build from there. So like if you can do, okay, if you're someone who can just do 5 push-ups right now, just do 5 push-ups for 1 week, 2 weeks. Okay. 2 weeks, get better at those push-ups. So normally you'll start off by probably half repping. You'll be going half your elbows down. So over the 2 weeks, try to make sure you're going entirely down to the ground and coming back up. So perfect what you're doing. And then automatically you will start seeing that you're building strength. So it's basically a marathon. It's not a sprint. Everyone's in this very big rush that, okay, I want to get fit. I want to get strong. It doesn't happen overnight. It's taken me 15 years. It's going to take you a little while to get to somewhere close to where I am. So you got to be patient. That is the most important thing. So then find your level 0, build up from there. You don't need fancy equipment, but yes, you can use a lot of things at your disposal. You have water bottles. You can fill water bottles with sand to mimic dumbbells. You can have a backpack that is filled with books to mimic a sort of, like if someone likes skipping, for example, okay, now you want to add a bit of resistance training to skipping. Strap on a backpack with 10 to 15 books, okay, and then skip. So you're just adding resistance to a simple exercise that you can do anywhere, whether it's your balcony, passageway, whatever. So find something that challenges you, I would say. And also, there is a lot of stuff that we do on a daily basis in our homes only. Like some people live on the second, third floor, they go up and down stairs. So avoid taking the elevator, go for the staircase. In case if you want to go grocery shopping, like what I have done for most of my things, I commute via cycle. It's just a very small change, but I feel like it's had a drastic repercussion on my life. So it's just these small things. So I would say start small, give yourself one small goal each week. Okay. And then ace that goal, add a second goal the next week. So give yourself those tiny motivations that you need and then slowly build up from there. So we're all sailing the same boat. That's all I would say. Where everyone's learning, everyone is still understanding the basics of all these things. So just find your level and slowly build up is what I would say.
Arjun, so you are a big sports fan, like you mentioned, and I
Hmm.
think you support my which club do you support?
I'm not sure to talk about that. Okay, so in terms of football,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's I am an Arsenal fan, and yeah,
Let's go. We need
no,
more of.
no, no. So yeah, so exactly, we need more of Arsenal fans, but yeah,
Yeah.
they're in
Yeah,
a
so
major
fifty
shortage
percent
right now.
so 50% of our podcast hosting is done by Arsenal
Oh,
represents. So
interesting.
you're good,
Well
you're good.
done.
It's
And
50%
I'm
Arsenal,
getting out.
50% United. So we were both on tenterhooks waiting for
Nice,
the answer. So I'm at least
nice.
glad. We're more relaxed as people. We don't expect too much. It's okay. We've not had success for a long time. So we're more relaxed. We're more chill
No, no,
people.
but before you gloat, Rishabh, like I would just like to add. So I am more of a person who plays the sport. Like I don't think I follow it that religiously. I think I've ever so I was a mad fan when there was Henry Fabregas, like that era of Arsenal. So I still have my Fabregas jersey with me. Like that's so that's the era that I used to follow. But ever since the last few years, is I'm just like a pseudo. I'm a pseudo fan. Like if I have to watch and someone asks me who you support, it's Arsenal. Like I'm never going to support another club. It's always going to be Arsenal. But it's just that I don't follow it religiously right now. So I'm just very uninformed
No, no,
about these things.
I'm also in the same boat,
Yeah,
especially now with these amazing extended highlights. I will always pick going to play and seeing the extended highlights after, usually because
correct.
they're, generally anyway, the mood goes down at the start of the day if I watch
Yeah,
it live
yeah,
anyway. So I can completely
exactly.
empathize with that.
Arjun, one more question that we have for you is, your name, your Instagram handle is that guy on Cface. Now, for all of those who aren't from Mumbai don't know, but we have something called Whirly Cface. So that's what Cface means. So Arjun, take it away. How did you think of that name?
So like Mazhar rightfully said, so there is a very iconic spot in Mumbai called Worli Seaface. Everyone who's sober, like the Mumbaikars put it, they would relate to where or what we're talking about. So like I said, one of the initial things that I used to do before I got into strength training was running, and Worli Seaface was the preferred spot. So you would see me there 7 days a week, every evening at like 6:37, and I'd be doing laps. Like I'd be doing like 4 to 5 laps of the entire seaface. So it's about 2.5 to 3 kilometers totally. So I'd be just doing laps, and I had these random bunch of people. Like, you know what? If you go at the same time to a particular place, you normally have these bunch of familiar heads that keep popping up, and you don't know these people, right? I mean, and they see you, and after I think the 45th time or the 60th time that they've seen you, they just have this very understanding way of giving you like a nod. Like they're like, hey, like they just see you running down the street and they're like, hey, like so that sort of became like my identity. Like people started referring to me as, what, oh, that guy who runs on Seaface. So I mean, I've had a lot of parties, I've had a lot of social gatherings. After like so when I passed the age of 18, and you obviously start going out, and Bombay is a lot smaller than you would think. Like everybody in the same age group knows everybody else. It's very weird, but it somehow just works out. So a lot of the people that I was introduced to during those parties, they would always be like, oh wait, you look kind of familiar. And I just be like, okay, I mean, I'm pretty sure I've never seen you before. They're like, no, I think I've seen you running. And it's just random people who've probably been passing by Seaface or been sitting on Seaface chatting with a friend, but they've always seen me run up and down. So they're like, oh, you're that guy that's running on Seaface. So that's where this entire name came into my head. And I was like, you know what? Okay, cool. I might as well own it, right?
Yeah, I love it. I love it because it's so catchy. There's a
Yeah,
nice ring to it. That guy on Seaface. Now,
correct.
Arjun's that guy on Seaface now for me
So
as well.
it's actually a pretty cool thing. So I was actually playing on a turf the other day, and I had a guy actually shout out to me like, "Hey, that guy on Seaface," and I was just like, "Whoa!" I said, "This is kind of cool." Like it almost made me feel like a celebrity, and that was a kind of an awesome feeling. And I was like, "Wow, this is what these guys feel on a daily basis. That's pretty cool."
Okay, so
Absolutely.
so Arjun, what we do now is we've
Hmm.
started this new thing, general trend that we follow, where we have like a quiz round, and the
Oh God.
loser amongst the hosts has to then perform some sort of punishment. Krishnan's already lost the first set, but he has still not done his punishment, so he's probably going to get another punishment.
Please don't ask
for
a
that.
fitness guy for the punishment. Huh? I'll get finished. Please don't ask a guy like who can.
I was
So this is
actually
going to be
coming
you
to
guys
that.
competing amongst yourselves or what?
No, that's the general trend. But now what we've started is also asking our guests some questions. So you're going to
Don't
be
do
put
it,
on the
man.
spot.
Do not do it. My knowledge is zero at this point.
It's
So if
okay.
it's
It's more like
specific
a
to-
coffee
yeah.
with Karan rapid fire. Only
Then it's
difference is
fine.
there's no coffee hamper, sadly. But but Krishnan
Nice.
will start things off. So
All right.
Krishnan had some questions for you. So go ahead, Krishnan.
No, perfect. So again, like Mazhar said, whatever your first thought comes to your mind, go with it. Arjun, first
Okay.
one we had, I think you went into this a little bit, but what is one exercise or dietary myth that you've caught in your experience that you found doesn't really work as much as people advertise it or claim?
Keto.
That's a perfect answer. The other one, toughest workout experience you had. So one time where the workout was just, it's too grueling, you got injured, anything that was just ended up being a
So
rough experience.
deadlifts. So I used to be at this gym where we had all these flow trainers who would sort of like pump you up and be like, you know what, you're lifting this much, you can lift so much more. Come on, you can do that. So I was actually repping 320 pounds, and that is where I like almost got a slip disc because of those people. So yeah, that's where I learned to be better and understand the importance of not lifting that heavy.
No, my other one was going to be Arjun. You've been to a few different places, right? You lived in Mumbai. You also studied in Australia. You have a lot of
Correct.
experiences from both the sporting perspective as well as a dietary experience. So we went with your kind of toughest workout experience. What's kind of your most cherished memory, either playing sports or workout? Any like beautiful image or vision that comes to mind in one of your experiences from the past?
So I would say that would be in Melbourne, where I had the ability to change my landscape whenever I would go out for a run. So they would have a lot of these beautiful parks, beautiful roads, beautiful sunsets. The air just smells different, I would say, and it's just so much easier to breathe. And I mean, I realized how much I've missed that after I came back here. So yeah, I mean, there is a drastic difference. People say there isn't, but there is. Like, you can feel it.
Arjun, you spoke about your inspiration in terms of fitness, but who's your favorite sports person of all time across any sport?
Ooh, that is a hard question. Oh, favorite sports person of all time. I want to say Tendulkar, I think. So I've never been a cricket fan because I honestly, personally, I wouldn't say I was a big fan of the sport because there was not much running around for everybody else. Like, it's only batsman, bowler who's in focus. But Tendulkar would always give me a reason to sit and just watch him on that crease, play some of those beautiful shots, technique. He was just, man's the god of cricket. So, I mean, yeah, I would say he is one of my favorite sports persons.
Fair enough. I've got a couple more. Which is your favorite meal, or let's say your favorite dish?
Meal would be breakfast. And if you would say specific to dish, I would say I am a fan of pizza.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's perfect actually, because that bodes well for my next question. So now, if you had to give up exercising for 3 consecutive months or give up pizza for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Exercise for 3 months.
Wow.
I have faith in my abilities. I'll come back.
Maybe that was too easy. Maybe I should have said no exercise for 3 years. Would that
Yeah,
change?
probably. No, but still, I would still have faith in my abilities.
Wow.
Even if I have to stop for 3 years, I would. So honestly, I could use a challenge right now. I feel like it's getting a little easy.
So whoever's listening or watching, you know which trainer to go to. You can have
Correct.
pizza all day, every day.
Absolutely. I said there's no such thing as bad food. It's only the quantity. I have never stopped anybody from eating anything. Please eat pizza.
Wow. Yeah.
This is the only advice I'm taking from the podcast. Everything else
Yeah.
I've forgotten. This is the only part that's going to stick in my mind, I think.
But moderation. That is key.
That's the problem, right? Pizza's never in
Yeah.
moderation. That's the entire issue.
Exactly. So then on those days, I make sure that's one of the only things that I'm eating so, to incorporate the entire calorie intake.
one last question that I had, Arjun, was in terms of exercise, which is your favorite routine, let's say, or whatever specific exercise?
Form of exercise?
Yeah,
Form
form
of
of
exercise?
exercise, probably.
So
Yeah.
like I said, I learned about Metcons, that is metabolic conditioning, from Jeremy Scott this year. So they are my new favorite way of exercising because it's a combination of strength training and cardio. So it's a cocktail of both moves, and by the end of it, you're practically floored. Like you can't really move, you're gasping for air, and at the same time, your muscles are killing you. So yeah, Metcons, metabolic conditioning.
Perfect. That's a quick answer. This is one I just thought of just now only. What is your pump up song right now to get you in the mood for a workout, or during the workout, just keep you going? It doesn't have to be all time, just even what you're listening to right now.
So have any of you guys seen the movie Never Back Down?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, so Never Back Down has always been one of my major reasons to get into fitness. So a lot of, and I'm big on movie soundtracks, right? So whether it is something like a Man of Steel, and when he initially takes flight, and that background music by Zimmer that is playing. So I have a lot of these instrumental things on my phone. So I would say there is a song called False Pretense by Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, if I'm not mistaken. So that's from Never Back Down. So it's that, or it's Kanye's Stronger.
Stronger. I remember
Yeah,
that
the
one. That
iconic
pumps me up all the time as well. I remember
That's also from Never Back Down, right? So when he's
Yeah,
walking for that last
he's
fight.
doing the push-ups when he's
Yeah,
building up
yeah,
his shoulder. Yeah,
Correct.
fantastic.
So I draw a lot of my inspiration from movies. Like they are one of the reasons why, like some movies just hit you and you see them, you see people train, you're like, you know what, I want to do that. So that is where my inspiration comes from.
One last question just to wrap
Yes.
up, Arjun. Would you want a body like Tiger Shroff? Yes or no? Simple question.
No. Nope.
How about Jackie
Like I
Shroff?
said, oh yeah, I think Jackie is like a state of mind that all of us should aspire to be. I mean, body hai ki nahi hai? Matlab, dada hai. Matlab, fuck, screw the world. Like that's
gali
how
hai.
it should be.
Or gali
Exactly.
hai.
Exactly. If you guys seen the iconic LIC, no, sorry, the Pulse Polio Boondon ka the spoof. Oh god, I think that's one of my favorite videos of all time.
We should link that also in our
Oh, absolutely.
I was gonna say, I need to
Absolutely.
watch this. I gotta watch this.
Oh, you haven't seen it? Please do.
I
Please
have
do.
it. I
Iconic.
gotta see it.
So when I say Jackie Shroff is a state of mind, that is the state of mind I'm talking about. You should check it out.
Perfect. No, Arjun, thank you so much. This was a really, really great episode and really informative episode for all of us, because I think there are lots of things that we can learn. Sometimes, with athletes, some of the things we can't really aspire to because it's a completely different world. These are a lot of relatable things that we can do on a daily basis, and kind of, some good thought processes that we can use in our day-to-day life. So thank you very, very much, Arjun. This was a great episode. For all those listening, we're going to share all of Arjun's links, obviously, in the description. So do check it out. Also, leave comments, share, subscribe if you enjoyed this episode. Let us know if there are more episodes like this you'd like to hear. But with that, thanks so much. Take care, stay safe, and have a great week. Thanks so much. If you like this episode, make sure to leave a like and share it with anyone else who might be interested. You can also subscribe on any social media platform that you prefer, and all our links are in the bio. We also have a website with all our episodes as well as blogs and a whole lot of other sports content, so make sure to check that out as well.